Well, welcome everybody. This is Eli Gonzalez, and we're just doing one more little training here today. It's Monday morning. It's I'm having a tropical storm coming through here. We're a little late because of that now, but we're back on. So we're gonna go ahead and go over some things today. Every week we like to get together because it's nice to come together. The team that have events together, even if it's live events over the internet, they stay together. And as you start doing things and building teams, you'll see that you want to do something live, even if it's just everybody to say hi every week and just go over, what they're going to do that week or whatever. Those things make a big difference in your business, especially when you're doing team building. Now, the nice thing about the business that we're doing right now is that you don't have to really do team building if you don't want to. You can have the whole thing automated for you and let it ride. But I think you'll find that most of the people that do very well in any system create their own little systems within that, for their own teams. And that's what really creates a stickiness together a little more, and those things create, long-term relationships versus just leaving everything to the system. So that's what we're doing this. I mean, I don't want to take over the coaches' role. I'm paying the coaches to take care of people. You guys are going to be paying coaches to take care of people, so you don't want to be like the coach. But I think that we need this time together just to, keep each other, accountable. At the same time, keep each other's spirits up. There's a lot of things that happen when you have a weekly event. And this week in particular, I wanted Clinton has had some really good success in some traffic that he's creating, and it's paid for traffic, but that shows you the difference. Sometimes we have backgrounds on other companies that buying traffic, things like that, weren't congruent because they just weren't converting low enough prices for it to be worth it. In other words, let's say that that your lifetime value of a customer is maybe $1,000 over the next 3 to 6 months. People would actually buy about $1,000 worth of stuff. If you're spending $1,000 to get that customer, it might not be worth it to you to do it. If it's costing you $1,500, it definitely won't. With other companies, I've had it as low, as 30, 40 bucks, as high as $1,000. I think one time we did some stuff that was over 10 grand. And we didn't get one customer right off the bat. We might have gotten some sales, down the road from email marketing. But I like to try to get that money back up front within a shorter period of time than 6 months or a year. So it's actually nice to know that something's working a little quicker. And you see at least that you're getting high quality leads, and actually they're buyer leads because they're actually spending $1 to come on board. That threshold, I mean, it's low, but it's low enough that you're taking care of a bunch of people that you don't want to be talking to anyway. You might be able to build them up in your email marketing by sending little emails, little trainings, and they'll get built up in business training enough that they might become somebody that you don't want to do business with later on. But right now, if they're not buying that $1, they're not even it's such a low quality leads. Most likely they're not going to be opening your emails up. Now you got to test all that. I'm saying that with a marketer's brain. It's like you don't just quit everything or destroy everything and get rid of lists without testing, making sure that they're opening up, segmenting lists, all kinds of stuff that you got to learn as part of the system as you go along in the training. You're going to be able to actually get more and more training on that and how to do that. So you don't have to know it all. You don't have to do it all right now. You just got to know that, trust in the process, but at the same time, trust that this system is actually working right now. So you don't have to worry about whether you're going to, spend. Now, don't go out there and spend all of your advertising dollars in one place and you're done for the next month or two, because that's all you did. I've done that in the past. It really hurt my business. Test different things out and see what's working for you, and of course different when people are going to have different amounts of money to spend towards this stuff. So I'm not going to give you a set amount to spend. It's like you can't do anything unless you spend $200 or something like that, or or whatever. There's ways to do all kinds of trainings that you're going to get involved in, and we're going to be talking about on how to get traffic, from Facebook and from, Instagram. Right now, I'm running some things with Instagram. Actually, Clinton had a sign up from his Instagram this last week. So, everything's working. It's just revving it up enough to get enough traffic. But, without talking too much more, hey, Clinton, why don't you come on board and talk to us this morning? Because you've had success both with paid and free advertising. I just clicked on me. It's like, hey, you've done a couple of different ways of sales this week. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, Linda
Awesome.
and everybody else. Hey, so what's going on is there echo going on? Is that me? Okay, all right. So what's going on is just real quick is that all I'm doing is I'm optimizing, like the traffic I have, existing traffic. The first thing you want to focus on is building a list, because it doesn't really matter what program you're in. You got to build a list, and the kind of list the type of list that you want to build is you want to build a list of buyers, right? So the way I go about it is, I use direct mail. That's one way, and then also I use Instagram. That's another way. Let's talk about the postcard way first, okay? With postcards, it's kind of funny, because all I'm doing with postcards is I'm doing like a magazine ad, but on a 4¼ by 6 basis. It's just a small little, very, very targeted message. Now, I don't want to say ad, but a message, right? And it's directed towards people whom demonstrated the behavior prior that, hey, you know what? I'm serious. I want to buy. I'm gonna switch lights here. I think the lighting's bad. Hold on. See my face? It may be a little grainy, but okay, then maybe that's a little bit better. But anyways, what I did was all I'm doing is I'm taking existing buyers that have expressed interest by plunking down $1 in the prior program, and I'm targeting those buyers, right, and directing them using postcards to an opportunity. Our opportunity right now is digital altitude, okay? This has been a couple of years in the making. I've been working on some other projects prior to this one that I've seen success in, and I made as much as $3,000 in a day, and I could have probably made more if I had more products and some back-end systems that digital altitude provides, namely the coaches. And that's another thing too, that things that we talk about, we don't want to overstep your coach by any way, shape, or form, okay? If you've got a traffic coach that's telling you to do or something right now a certain way, let them teach you, go on that path, okay? Because the reason why is that that's what we're paying them to do, and these coaches aren't lightweights. These guys made over $1 million online. So by any means, if these coaches are telling you, hey, do it this way or do it that way for traffic, there's a reason for it. They know you a little bit better than I would, Eli or Linda, okay? So let them teach you the traffic. But I'm just sharing some of my experience on what I'm running, okay? So when when Eli presented this opportunity to me, he was like, hey, what do you think? So I said, you know what? And I told him, I said, if I can get the same ROI, and to get this, guys, my lifetime value of my customers, my prior program was $500 per customer. So I was making like $500 for everybody that signed up. Okay, that's insane. To me, that was insane. I mean, that's the first time I ever calculated. It's like $500. And so I was just thinking, okay, I got these list of buyers that I've been compiling. Again, going back to building a list. Okay. And we'll set up another topic another day talking about list building. But anyways, it was going back to building a list. So I had a list, an in-house postcard list of buyers, which was about 800 people. Now I've had a lot of these people on email, about 500 on email, and about almost 900 now on I call it my secret sauce list. Okay, my black book. My black book that I've been compiling for about a year now, well, actually maybe a little bit longer. It's 2016? Yeah, about 20. I think I did in the fall of 2014. I started compiling the list. But anyways, so let's just say you know how to build a list, right? So you just take an existing offer and you present it to them. Okay. Now, here's what do I present to these people? What did I show these people? Well, one thing I do is I use this thing called a swipe file. Now, a swipe file is just as easy as joining another opportunity or going on ClickBank or something and learning something online. You know, you go type in Google and you go opt in. Now, the dangers of that is like, oh man, you might want to go join that program. Okay, that's the dangers. But this is what I do. I'm just on a bunch of people's lists, right? And for the headlines and emails that grab my attention, I just put them in a folder called swipe file. I mean, it's crazy. My swipe file right now, I probably have 1,128 unopened messages. 1,128. Now, how many files are actually in there? I don't even know. But that's just 1,128 that I haven't even opened. And I'm trying to scroll down in the swipe file to see how far I can go back. I don't know. It's just a year, probably maybe over a year in the making. But it's 1,128 open messages that I have not opened. But the headlines grab my attention. So here's what I do. So I grab those files, right? I grab an email message. I switched a few things around because I don't want to, obviously send traffic to somebody else's link. But I read the message. I think about it. Okay, how does this reflect my values? How does it reflect me and the message and the tonality and all that stuff? And does it look good? Matter of fact, I need to send out a message today. But I look at a lot of different characteristics of the email. Then I change a few things up. Headline might tweak a little bit, and then I might change. Of course, I'll change the links and stuff. And then I'll put my signature in there, my signature block, and then I'll schedule it to send out in Aweber. Okay, let me tell you that right there will get you some instant sales. I mean, you'll be surprised, like just looking at your statistics on Aweber as far as who's clicking on what. I mean, right now, get this: I had zero list for Digital Altitude. Zero, absolutely nothing, nada. When Eli shared this with me, I started just like you guys, started from the ground zero, and now my list right now is at 99 people, okay? And I think I just came in on the 28th or something like that. I don't know when I got started here. It wasn't that long ago. I don't know. I got to look it up. But let's just say I came in around the 28th or something like that. Eli, I'll let you guys know. But I came here right around that time. And all I've been doing is, I got started right on my postcard list. I started my emails, and then I started my postcard list. And this is all in-house. So I haven't done any external marketing per se, except for posting a couple Facebook links and then some Instagram stuff. I have an Instagram account, and my Instagram account, I think it has about 2,000 people on it that's following me on Instagram. Okay, and Instagram, that we'll leave again. That's another topic for another day. About 2,200 on Instagram. But and so I have a following on Instagram, about 2,200 people, and then an internal list. That's all I'm doing right now. Now it's interesting that I'm telling you guys this. When I was looking at my millionaire mentor, the guy that I'm shadowing after is Mac. I was reading. I follow Mac very closely. It's like I don't know, being an apprentice, just kind of watching him. And one thing that I noticed is that, from what he says on his Facebook post, is that the only thing that he's really done is just pretty much do the same thing. And that is, all he's doing is he's running his internal traffic, right? His own list, doing some stuff on Facebook, and sending them to Digital Altitude. That's it. I mean, that his own list. Okay, he said he hasn't even started paid traffic yet. So he says, but the interesting thing about that post I read was that he actually does this with every business opportunity. He starts with his internal list, and then he goes and buys traffic. So if his internal list made him in the last 30 days about over 45 grand, and now get this. Now I know I'm kind of switching from myself to Mac, but I'm just kind of just looking at some things here for, as far as things that you can learn from. If Mac is taking his internal list and in 30 days creating over 50 grand, and a lot of these people, I mean, he's getting astronomical numbers in a day, okay? Now, if you take that and then you look, so you forecast over June and July, a lot of those people in that system are going to be worked by the coaches, right? Going to be followed up and all that stuff. So that income is just a small snapshot of what he's done, right? Right, of course, yeah, results not guaranteed. Thank you, Linda. But so what he's doing is he's building a list, he's getting them to the coaches, and that's what, that's one important thing you want to do is get them to the coaches, okay? So let me back up here because I know I'm kind of going a little ahead. The first thing is you want to do like I'm doing. I have a message. You take that message, you get them to what? The lead capture page. You get it there in a lead capture page. After that, you want to get them to the video sales letter. Okay? The video sales letter is going to sell them what? On buying the opportunity, right? They want to buy the opportunity. In your email follow-ups, the only thing you should be worried about in your email follow-ups, and this is important, is get them to click. That's it. Get them to click. Either give them something of value or you want to get them to the VSL letter. Again, those are two things you want to focus on. You want to get people in what? Clicking behavior, clicking on stuff. The more you get them clicking, the more chances are you're going to get them to go over to a VSL and buy stuff. Because it's all about that presentation. Now, you don't have to cold call anybody. You don't have to do any stupid stuff like that. All you have to do is do one or two things. Get them to click on a link to go to something of value, or get them to go, and this is an email follow-up, get them to click on a content of value, or get them to click on the VSL link. Okay? Now, when it comes to your message and stuff like that, landing pages and marketing message, that's another subject. But, I mean, if you keep your message simple, I remember back in my Dollar Pre days, in his ads, he says small ads equal bigger profits. So don't, make your an ad complicated. Just keep it simple. Give it a good headline. Give it, talk about what's going to happen when they take the next step. So from a postcard, so let me just kind of give you an example of my postcard. So I have a great headline, okay? So I have a great headline, right? And then I tell them a little small message, right? And then the next thing is a call to action. The call to action is to go to the lead capture page. Now on the lead capture page, my message is congruent with my postcard. Everything must be congruent, mind you. So I'm going from a postcard to the lead capture page. Lead capture page agrees with the postcard. They mesh. They're together. And then they go to the bridge video. Bridge video is just my way of introducing myself. Not long at all. Okay? I used a video that I created back in earlier this year in Jamaica. Hint, hint. I just made my trip officially business. Right? But anyways, I used my bridge video that I created in Jamaica. And then that goes over to Max VSL, video sales letter. And VSL means video sales letter. Okay? So, and then Max sells them on the next step. Now, a lot of people, like right now, my numbers are, it's 10%. So, out of every 100 people, I'm going to have 10 people sign up. That's my numbers right now. Okay? Earlier, like this week, it was like 12%. Okay? Well, I mean, I only have 9 people. It's not a great number, but here's my things. Looking back and knowing your numbers, and we'll talk more as you guys are with us about knowing the numbers. And I gotta get going here in a minute. But once you know your numbers and how much your customer lifetime value is, you'll know that if you push a certain amount of traffic and they turn into buyers, you know that you're going to generate a certain dollar amount. Now, I don't know my dollar amounts for digital altitude yet. Like I said, the coaches are working through people, and from what I've been told, it takes a little while. Everybody's not like me or Eli and say, hey, let's go all in or something like that. They take time to be worked and stuff like that. It takes a little time. It's not instant. Okay, and that's good. That's for good reason, because here's the thing. I've been in programs where people slam you like the first day that you get into the program to go all in or something like that, and that there's some pros and cons to that. And I like this program. They work with you, really try to find out more about you, and then you sell yourself on where you should be at. From what I'm getting from it, for the most part. Okay. So anywho, so if anything, I could recap here on just the lessons that I learned and my experiences. Have a good message, and go into the products. If you don't have some of the products, talk to your coach and say, hey, I want to learn more about how do I drive traffic, or whatever you're lacking. For me, when I came in, to other programs, it was, how do you drive traffic? That's what I struggled on. Now that I've become, I don't want to say an expert, but I know traffic. You know, I know the good places, I know the good neighborhoods, and I know the bad neighborhoods when it comes to traffic. And one thing I've learned is that once you find buyer traffic, okay, once you tap into that source, your results are going to change dramatically. I mean, you're going to have totally different results. If you're going after opportunity seekers, people that are just kind of sticking their toe in the water and they're not sure about filling out that credit card form, you're going to go broke, right? You're going to get rich. You're going to die trying to get rich, right? But if you go, now again, results not typical, but if you go after the buyers, okay, and we'll talk more, I'm sure your traffic coach will help you focus on this, but once you target buyers, I'm telling you, if you've ever been struggling like I have before, man, I'm telling you, you focus on buyers, man, you're going to look at things in a whole different light. I mean, you're going to feel good, you know, when you start seeing those sales, because you're going to like, you know what, I'm targeting the right source. This is actually working. And I think that's what's wrong with it, is that people just don't know where to get traffic from. They get boo-boo traffic and they get boo-boo results and then they quit, right? So if you focus, let your coaches teach you on what good traffic sources out there. And matter of fact, I think Digital Altitude, I read something in one of the Facebook groups, they're a media buyer or something like that, or something. They buy traffic, and they've been doing this for a long time. And they're going to start introducing to us their traffic sources that are like 15-20% cheaper than the general public. So that's going to be a big plus. I mean, just imagine if you're building a business and you have a reliable traffic source that all you have to do is just keep rolling your profits. Let me just tell you how to roll a profit. So let's say this. You get some sales coming in. Of course, you can't roll anything with $1, okay? There's other products and services that you're going to have to invest into to build a business. This is a business, okay? If you follow the training, like all the steps and stuff, you will notice that this is a business. This is not a lottery ticket. This is a business. It is an educational process. You have to learn, okay? And there's other products and services within this company that you're going to have to buy if you're going to, if you really want to capitalize on your ROI, okay? So anyways, when you focus on the product and you learn how to start driving traffic and you start building your business, what you're going to start to see is a return on your investment. Okay, now I'm not talking like Wall Street investment, stuff like that. I'm talking about business, where you're building a business, you build a client database of customers, and they start buying other products and services, and you get commissions. And then you're able to roll that cash into buying more traffic. Okay, and now what I've been told is you take, let's say if you make $1,000, you take 20% of that and you go buy more traffic. So you make $1,000, you take 20%, you put it back, and they're driving more traffic, or however you want to work, 20, 30%, whatever works best for you. Okay, and then you want to save a little bit too. Just have some, cash stashed away, because I'm gonna say that it's a cyclical business where it goes up and down. And when it comes to traffic sources, we're going into summer. It could dive off a little bit. It's okay. Don't panic. That means you just gotta, up the efforts. Keep pushing people in the funnel, because what I like about this is that as you notice in your team, you're gonna know that your team members are going through the steps. Your coaches are working them, and you could easily have $1,000 day. It's just like popcorn. It's gonna pop. As long as those people are, you're starting to see those people funnel through there. The coaches are going to work them, and then those are going to turn into sales. And another thing is too that you can't not what's the word I'm looking for? You don't want to get to a point where it's like, man, I didn't get any sales. You don't want to start discouraging yourself. Come back to these calls. Keep pushing yourself. Like the 10x rule. Keep 10x your results. I mean, whatever your budget is. I remember when I was an Army recruiter and I was trying to build an online business, I never knew any of this stuff that I know now. It was hard because I didn't understand traffic, right? And once you start driving traffic, and once you start getting sales, and then you have people to talk to, and you build up a swipe file and start communicating, get people to click, things start to happen. And that's what I'm trying to guide you guys on. But Eli, I'm gonna have to turn over to you because I got to go get my daughter. But hopefully that helped you guys out with some value here today. I think you're on mute, Eli. Yeah. Eli. You're on mute.
Thanks, Lynn. This is all value stuff from somebody that's actually in the trenches with you doing it. And that's to me, that's the most valuable thing you can do. It's as far as, getting information, somebody that's actually doing it, not some guru that did it 10 years ago, but somebody that's doing it now. And I just wanted to recap a little bit and explain a couple of things, but I don't know if everybody got it. Well, first of all, the call to arms. I call this the call to arms, right? The call to arms is to start creating your own list. You just need to create. Thanks, Lynn. I know you got to get going, so I'll see you later. The call to arms is to build your list and start building it now. It doesn't matter if you have, nobody in your list, or if you think you might have a little, if you start driving a little traffic and you only have 5 people in your list. Go ahead and get started. And of course, talking to Linda, as you're going through the process, you might not get access to that right away. So as soon as you're giving access to be able to build your list, go ahead and do that with your coaches. But as you're doing that, in the process of doing that, you can actually go and do what Clint was saying. It was actually follow some of the top marketers that that you've come across their name or whatever. Join their list. This is not to follow everything they do, because believe me, they're marketers, and a lot of them are not talking about building a business long-term with one company, and they know what they're doing. So it's a little different. You're not in the same level as they are, but you can learn the things that they do to create those sales that they do all the time. So, don't go and join everything that they offer, because they will be offering you all kinds of stuff. But if you create a list just with the mindset that you're going to learn from it, you can actually create a swipe list of a bunch of different people. And let me show you my screen here. And when he said what he said, it blew my mind. You see that number right there? This is a special email that I don't use for anything except a bunch of leaders and their emails. I got 42,000 in there right now. I don't know if can you read that, Linda? I don't know if you can read it or not. It's a small number right there, but it's 42,000 got compiled over the last 8 years or so. I mean, whatever it's been, it's almost been 10 years. So I would have to go back and see where all this stuff is. Let me stop sharing here. But basically, I can go back there and just go through it and see what headlines catch my attention. And that's how come you're doing it. It's like you can learn what catches your attention. Well, if it catches my attention, it might catch somebody on my list attention to open the email, because that's the first thing you want to do. And then you read through some of the emails, and the ones that resonate better with you, you start saving, and you can actually separate those into a file, or copy and paste them into a Word file, whatever you want to do. But save them aside, because then you can start using them and just reward them a little bit, so that they sound like they're coming from you. But you can actually get ideas like this. A lot of times we're creating a list and we don't know what to tell them, can't think of something to do. Well, if you do this, you can actually use like a learning process, by actually following what other people are doing. You don't have to copy and paste, and I'm not saying plagiarize everybody, but you can actually learn very quickly and reword some stuff so it sounds like it's coming from you, and then it's yours. And you can actually do that very easily. So that was the next thing. Then and of course getting to click. But if you're doing the swipe list and you see how they're doing it, you'll see how they get people to actually click on the link to go see the program. And that's what we're trying to do, because right now, company wide, there are about 13% people that actually see that sales video, and then he called it the VSL. It's the video sales letter. And that's where Michael actually starts talking to you through the whole program and what we do here and the 6 steps. Well, when 12 out of 100 people that go to there actually get signed up, that's like whatever it is, 6 out of 50. So you want to get as many people every day to go through that sales letter, and once they've gone through it, doing different things that will actually get them to click again and go check it out again. Throughout the first month or so, you want to have different emails that are going out like that. But let's see. Oh, he mentioned a lot about postcards, because that's what he's using, and I wanted you to understand the postcard is no different than having a landing page on the computer. Landing page is just a page that people go to. It doesn't even have lead capture. It just talks about like a headline, a couple of pictures, and a message that would resonate with the person. So that's all it is, and you can do it as a landing page. You can do it as a postcard. You can do it as an email. When you send the email, whatever you're talking about, it catches their attention. They follow what they're doing, and then when they click from there over to the lead capture page. So it's like in between a lead capture page and a sales video. It's like the two ends. A lead capture page will be in the middle. And of course, you can do a blog post. You can actually do blog posts, drive people there from social media. You can drive your email list to your blog post. That could be your landing page. That could be your postcard for what you want them to do next. But the call to action has to be on that one to go to the next one. You just let them know. It's like, hey, you want to know more about this? If you were doing a training or whatever, want to know more about this? I actually have a training that you can actually take a test drive for $1 for the next 14 days, where you're going to actually have a coach talking to you and helping you out in your business, all for $1. So why don't you go ahead and click on the link right here and check it out? Something like that simple. You can do that. If you're doing content based that's actually trying to do some training. But you could also do a blatant sales call to action to go and buy. You can do all kinds of things. I just want to do the same thing over and over again. I would change it up a little bit. But hopefully you got something out of this week. One of the things that I got out of Clinton is, sometimes we're doing stuff and it doesn't go as well as we planned. But Clinton has that both, and I wish he would still be here to back that up. But basically, he's had really good times and he had really bad times, just like everybody else has in business. But he's always kept on. That list is not huge. When you think about a year and a half having a list of about 800 to 1,000 people, it's not huge, but it's a very responsive list. And that comes from you actually keeping in touch with them and emailing them. And doing that has allowed them now to just in one email get two people. One call to action on Instagram, get another person, and then he mailed out more postcards to the other people that he doesn't have emails for. So there's multiple ways to do business. But keeping that list is what makes a big difference, because then you can either, if you're doing like he's doing, you can mail them. But it's even easier online because you could just keep a bunch list of emails. And if you're doing stuff that they're interested in and you're coming up with really clever ideas on the headline or borrowing somebody else's ideas and redoing them for you, they'll actually open up those emails. And sometimes they're not responsive because sometimes we're not saying things that they want to respond to. They don't want to click on the link even to open our emails. So make sure that you use all these tools that we're giving you guys so that you can start using them. Because if like I said, if it catches your attention, most likely it's going to catch your audience attention. If it's something that looks too spammy, don't use it. Just because they're using it and they're gurus doesn't mean that it worked for them either. So just make sure that it resonates with you, and it's not just that you're thinking that it might be good because somebody else is using it. That's one caveat there, right? To make sure that you don't go down the wrong path. But thanks a lot, Linda. It's on here if you want to stop by and say hi. You've been hanging out in the background there.
Yeah, I've just been listening right now, but I just wanted to reiterate that if you are not resonating with a certain traffic plan, don't do it, because it's not going to work. It's going to come through your words. It's going to come through the energy of it. And so, if like postcards, you don't want to do postcards just because it's working for Clinton, doesn't mean, oh yeah, I'm going to go try that even though I don't really like the idea. Go with something that you like, because really the people that are going to join you are people who resonate with you. So the best thing you can do is do your traffic getting from places you hang out. If you love Facebook, work on getting traffic from Facebook. If you love Instagram, work on getting traffic from Instagram and get really good at it. And also learn where your avatar, your core audience hangs out as well. I hang out on Instagram, but I'm a little older than the general audience of Instagram. So I tweak my traffic, my message for Instagram to feel a little younger and do that kind of thing. But the message I want to just reiterate is do what feels right to you, because it's going to be more likely to work better that way, as opposed to trying to do something that worked for somebody else but you don't really like it, or it just doesn't fit with your message. So I just wanted to make that a stronger point.
Yeah, no, I like that, because you're right, and that's where you want to talk to your coaches. The coach, we're putting a lot of stuff out there, and I don't want everybody to try to do everything that we're talking about. That's the complete opposite. It's like we're putting it out there because we want to give you different ideas of what resonates with you, and just work with that. I mean, it's funny because I've never been attracted to postcards. I don't know why. I just, I've heard a lot of people doing really well, and it's never resonated with me. I met Clinton 4 years ago, last January, at an event, and even back then he was talking about it, and he went out of his way to find out how to do it, and paid somebody to do it, and bought books and all this other stuff, So, but when it resonates with you, you can do that. You can actually, you feel like you need more, so you go and get more information. I want you to find what that is for you, and just go to town, because if you hang out long enough and learn enough and you implement enough, it will work for you. We didn't talk about, Clinton's results are his own, so, I'm not saying that you're going to have the same results that he has, but, when he was in the last program that he was at, program that very few people were actually having any success in, he was having $10,000 months because of what he was doing. So once you learn, traffic, whatever it is you do, you'll find out actually a lot of stuff is not that much different. That's like I mentioned, the thing with the postcards, that being the same as a landing page. It's like once you learn one way, you're going to be able to do other things. But really, really, what I learned right from the get-go once I started was, I got somewhere. No, this thing right here. It was Digging Myth email MLM formula, and basically this was a business in a book. I mean, a business in a box, and it was just a bunch of of DVDs and CDs to go through, and it had everything from lead capture to email to creating everything. I mean, like, the whole system. Fortunately, for us, we don't have to do that. Digital Altitude has done that for us. All we have to do is email the list and find traffic one way or the other. That's the only two things we got to do out of that whole thing. But in that same training, when he starts talking about creating traffic, he says, just do one thing until you get good at it. When you can become a professional, when you make $1 more than what you spent, that's when you become a professional. So do it until you get leads, and then until you get sales from those leads. At that time, you can decide whether you want to keep on just doing that, and that's it. That's all you're going to do, or if you're going to actually put that on semi-automatic and then go to another source of traffic. That will be up to you at that time. You're going to have enough experience that you can decide that. But for right now, choose one. And when you talk to your coaches, they're probably going to put you on the simplest ones, because the point is not to spend a lot of time learning all this stuff over and over again and try to be on learning mode all the time. The point is to get you on profit as soon as possible. And that's what some of the traffic formulas that they're going to talk to you about that will actually do that. Once you get into profit, then you can do other things. So, follow your coaches, but keep some of these things in mind, because if you are going to do email marketing, building your list and actually having swipe copies will be two of the most important things you'll ever do in this business. So thank you very much for stopping by. It's the start of an awesome week. I think in the next 2 days I'm going to be inside working a lot, because I can't go outside. It's too much turmoil outside with this tropical storm. But that is actually going to be good for me. I need to concentrate and actually create some of this stuff that I want to start creating for the next several weeks. So it's going to give me time to do that. So hopefully you guys are working on your business and working with your coaches and get to the next level. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Take care.